Hey everyone, how's it going today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Stranger Days. And we all live in a gig-based economy, right? I'm talking Lyft, I'm talking DoorDash, I'm talking Uber, Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub, and in some cities you can legally get weed delivered to you, which is just wild to me, and it's amazing. But the problem with gig-based economies or gig-based jobs is that oftentimes they're terrible for the driver. The company makes billions of dollars while the driver gets almost nothing, literal pennies, depending on what type of job it is. And I've driven for Uber before, as I can tell you, you don't make a lot of money. And at the end of the day, you do find yourself in a bit of a crappy situation. However, most drivers just give up and move on to a real job. Some drivers, on the other hand, commit fraud, and it's really shocking when you look into it. So it's called vomit fraud, and it could make your Uber trip really expensive. Now, I wish I was making this up. I wish this wasn't real, but it absolutely is. It says here that the next time you use Uber, check your bill. The trip could turn out to be more expensive, and not just the distance, but for a type of fraud that's on the rise. It's called vomit fraud, a scam repeatedly denounced in social networks, yet still taking place around the world. And in Miami, it's pretty common. Now, what it is, though, is when passengers request Uber cars, they end up getting an extra tip, an adjustment, saying here, Uber's reporting the adjustment in the bill, and that extra charge can range from $80 to $150, depending on the driver's degree of crookedness. And this is actually from Uber itself. This is from their website. This is their policy, saying that if damage that requires vacuuming or simple cleaning, i.e., small messes, food, drink, or other liquids, you're charged $20. Some liquid spills, such as pool or seawater, may be charged up to $50, which seems to make, a fair amount of sense. Vomit on spills on the exterior of a vehicle are charged $40. So if you open the window and you vomit on the side of a car, you're going to be charged $40. Vomit and larger food or beverage spills on fabric or other hard to clean surfaces inside a vehicle typically require detailing and are charged $80. Or number 4, and this is a key one here, significant amounts of bodily fluids, i.e. urine, blood, or vomit on the vehicle's interior, or messes that require cleaning between the window and the door, are charged $150. And that is insane that they charge that much money. But that is expensive stuff. Getting your car detailed is not something that is super cheap. It is pretty damn expensive. And the driver would be out if not for this particular fee that Uber charges. Except when it's fake, it really does end up ripping people off. Now, Uber told El Nuevo Herald that's actively looking into reports where fraud may be detected and will take appropriate action on those accounts. Yeah, okay. I doubt it. No, really, I doubt it. The company added it did not have specific numbers for fraud cases, but that the vast majority of cleaning fee reports are legitimately the result of someone making a mess in a car, and instances where they have confirmed a case of fraud, they do take appropriate action. However, their little excuse here is, with 15 million trips a day, Uber is unfortunately not immune to these types of incidences. And unfortunately, drivers feel the need to do this. They do. It's not simply because of being just fraudulent people, which, don't get me wrong, when they do this, they are, but they really feel the need to pull this thing off because they just don't feel they're getting the money elsewhere. I have a buddy of mine right now who does Lyft full time. He is literally homeless and he's doing Lyft in Los Angeles trying to get by. And during the summer, it slows down in certain places where he usually works, which is one of the reasons why he ended up going homeless. I feel really bad for this guy. And I get where he's in the position that he's in, but part of the problem is his car was totaled. So he's using a loaner car from Lyft. So he's paying them to lease it. And then he's still out there working for them, making them more money while he sleeps in his car. It is not a good scenario, but this is happening more often than you think with these gig-based positions. Now, several victims did talk about the case, saying one person says here, I requested an Uber from Wynwood to the Edgewater area. At one point, the driver told me a road was closed and that he could drop me off near my destination to avoid an extra charge. I agreed and I got off. But then the next day, Uber emailed her a bill with an additional $98 cleanup charge. that included a photo of vomit on the seat in the SUV she had used. Now, the woman here immediately contacted Uber through the app and told them that she was alone, sober, and that she wasn't carrying any drinks, and that it was impossible for her to have caused that damage. But every new email from Uber came with a different representative and always favored the driver. And despite several email exchanges, Uber never agreed to reimburse her the extra money, so she filed a dispute charge with her credit card company and got back her $98. Uber then canceled her account. And I totally understand her actions, and I sympathize with her 100%. Uber should have refunded her the money. It's not like they don't make hundreds of millions of dollars in a day. They make a lot of damn money. If 15 million trips are happening a day around the world, how much money is that a day? Right? It's a lot. They make a lot of money. So they should have just given her the money back and looked into it, but they favored the driver. And I can see why they do that. They oftentimes get told that they don't favor the driver, which is one of the bigger issues when it comes to this. So they probably did that. And then the driver maybe just said, no, she puked in the car, she's lying, and everything else. So she ended up just getting the money back, but then lost her ability to use Uber. So I'm pretty sure she's using Lyft and is a lot happier now. Now, this is interesting. One Uber driver who asked to remain anonymous said that she is aware of frequent uses of the vomit fraud, and she knows other drivers in South Florida who have done it and won the disputes with passengers, saying they've been doing it for a long time. Many people don't review their emails or credit card statements, so the drivers end up pocketing the $80 or $150. Miami police say that this type of fraud is difficult to consider a crime, and that any complaints are a matter between the passengers, Ubers, and its drivers. If neither Uber nor the card issuers agree to reimburse the fraud's victim in Miami, it's not clear if the dispute becomes an issue for the county or the state. And right now, based upon how Miami police are treating this, which is as a nothing burger, I would argue that if the customer goes to dispute and the customer gets screwed, then there's nothing that's going to be done. It's one of those things where it's like, well, it's not a big enough crime to prosecute, so we're just not going to touch it because it's not worth our resources as a municipality, which is, honest to God, what happens in a lot of these cases. Now, the Miami-Dade Office of Consumer Protection said that as of July 1st, 2017, it no longer regulates complaints against transportation services such as Uber or Lyft, and that any complaints should be addressed to the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. The state Consumer Affairs Department said it was not aware of the change and declined an interview request. So it's unclear what steps local governments can take to stem the fraud, which is leaving Uber consumers without needed protection. And yeah, that's really true. I mean, that's really true. When you look at Uber and you order Uber and you partake in Uber, it's a service-based economy, right? I need a quick lift somewhere. Someone has a car. Let me jump in the back. You drive me a few miles. You get a couple bucks, maybe a nice, pleasant conversation, and we're good. But these drivers who do thousands upon thousands of rides and start to feel the tightening shift from Uber trying to lower its rates in order to stay competitive with other services like Lyft, or Uber Eats drivers that are competing with DoorDash and Postmates and Grubhub, etc. These drivers start getting desperate because they're putting in the same work and they're not getting the same amount of pay. And this is what I think is really stemming this problem, or pushing this problem, is the fact that Uber doesn't properly facilitate its drivers. And you might disagree, and say, look, this is a gig economy. Don't like it. Go do something else. And I completely understand that. But over my travels and my adventures, I've met a number of Lyft drivers. And as I pointed out before, some people are homeless. And this is what they feel they can do in order to earn money right now. It's not always as easy as going out and getting a job. And that's why these types of gig-based systems, these services, are booming, because people are not all going to be in the same position to get out ahead of everything. I mean, it's really crazy when you think about it. So I'm hoping that the authorities step in and find a way to curb this fraud, because it is going to generally impact negatively people who are just trying to do a job, who are just trying to live their life and be a part of this gig-based economy. But anyway, I leave it to you. Your thoughts, your opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you guys think that this is a big deal, not a deal at all? Is it something that you even care about? let me know. And if you want to help support the channel, please consider tossing a like, please consider subscribing, or become a channel member. That right now is the best way to do that. YouTube is, again, kind of like gig-based economies. This is very similar. We're kind of a gig-based entertainment. I'm being honest here. We're gig-based entertainment. So if you enjoyed the ride, tip your waiter, tip your waitress, tip your driver, tip your entertainer, and and help keep economies afloat. Anyway, I appreciate everyone's time, everyone's opinion. Have yourself a great day, guys, and peace out.